If at first you don't succeed, try again. That is the theme of patch 7.26b. Considering that for the last two patches, 7.26 and 7.26a, they have been trying to slow down the game and actually had some reverse effects. They tried again, and now they're taking a different approach. Guys, we're going to look at the patch analysis today. We're going to review it. My name is Navetz on behalf of myself and my team, the Sploush Troupe. I welcome you guys to follow along. So here are what the changes are. Denies no longer grant gold, and deny experience given to enemies increased from 40 to 50%. So what this means is that denies are significantly less valuable. In addition to not giving you any gold anymore, the amount of gold that the enemy can get from the lane is now 50% of the creep wave, whereas before it was only 40, meaning that if the enemy is not able to if you're able to deny everything from an enemy and he's still in range of the creep wave, he'll get 50% of the experience. And that has a pretty big implication on both the safe lane and the off lane. If the lane's being lost pretty hard, they can still get an experience, or they can still gather and soak some experience. Now, moving on to some gold changes, we're going to look at two things that were done to creeps. First one is going to be the melee creeps base bounty has been increased by 5, and the neutral creep base bounty values have been increased back by 10%. So first, we're going to talk about the melee creeps. They did not increase the range creep, which means that it's still 10% less than it was in patch or pre 7.26. But the melee creeps overall get more than a 10% buff back, because 5 gold here means that if melee creeps were dropping 50 gold on average per melee creep before, and then it was reduced by 10%, and then they added 5 back, that would bring us back to 50 gold per melee creep. But since melee creeps were dropping less than 50 gold prior to the 10% nerf, it means that this plus 5 is actually more than a 10% increase in the value of melee creeps before. So melee creeps are now more valuable than they were in the past. Experience wise, the ranged creep still reigns supreme. Neutral creep base bounty values have increased 10%, meaning that pulls are now more important, stacking is a lot more important. Retreating to the jungle is now maybe a more viable option, and it's also good for heroes who like to stack for themselves and jungle, especially the mid laners. So I don't think we'll see a change in mid laners who like to push out their waves and then go to the jungle and then come back to the mid wave just to push it out again. Here we go, taking a look at another way that Dota is trying to slow down, and this is an overall change. All talents are now about 20% weaker. So to understand this, it means that anything that had a specific value has been reduced by about 20%. And since I just did my Beastmaster guide and he's my most played hero as of late, I'll just take a look at his talents real quick, and we see that, you know, the 25 damage and the 20 movement speed. So that used to be 30 damage and 25 movement speed, about a 20% nerf. Level 15, the 6 armor, 24 board damage, that has been nerfed by from 8 and 30. So we've gone from 8 to 6, from 30 to 24. So again, a 20% nerf. Level 20, we've got the 60 wild axes damage and the 400 health. That used to be 75 wild axes damage and 500 health. Again, 20% reduction overall, trying to slow down the speed of the power spikes in terms of levels. And then there is the instance where you have a talent that does not give you anything percentage wise, it just gives you a new ability. So if I take a look at Phoenix here, Phoenix has Sunray during Supernova. Now obviously you can't really buff or nerf that. That's just something that inherently you can give as a spell or an ability. So those kind of things stay the same. They didn't nerf Supernova they didn't nerf Sunray during Supernova or anything like that. So that is how those type of talents work. And I've been hearing a lot of people call these talent changes kind of like a lazy thing, but I don't know. The talents, it doesn't seem too lazy for me. Maybe a lazy description a little bit, but you know, I don't need to see them write down every hero's talent and show me what they changed. This does it for me. I don't know. Doesn't seem too lazy to me. Towers now grant 1 HP regen for tier 1 towers and 3 HP regen for tier 2, 3, and 4 towers. This makes towers more powerful than they were before. In addition to this, we'll take a look at the other change in a second, but first off, this means that playing under tower is a lot more beneficial for you. And it makes the safe lane a little bit stronger because of where the creep waves meet. It means that you usually get to stay under your tower range and get the additional 1 HP regen aura. So it's a little bit harder for offlaners now since they won't have this HP regen aura. Safe laners will usually be able to take advantage of this, and it means that you should try to get your waves pulled often so that you can bring creep equilibrium back towards your tier 1 tower. And then the 3 for tier 2, 3, and 4 towers, this makes them harder to take. It makes them better for defending. It makes it more important to show up to tier 2, 3, and 4 tower defenses, tier 2 towers namely. And in addition to this tower change, they probably should have put this right after that patch note, but we'll look at the last one. Tier 2 tower health increased by 500 health and 25 damage. So as if it wasn't hard enough to take a tier 2 tower with multi-shot, even if you have a hero who has multiple summons like a Nature's Prophet or a Beastmaster, or any hero who has lots of summons, multi-shot, if they have glyph available, makes it almost impossible to push and take that tower, especially if anybody, like if 2 or more heroes react. Now with the 3 HP regen plus 500 health plus 25 damage, these towers are going to be a real pain. This is going to slow down the game. It's going to slow down tower taking, and it's going to mean that teams are going to be able to retain map control for longer. So if you have a hero that comes online a little bit later, your towers might stand a little bit longer, allowing you to gain the map control for your hero, or to maintain the map control until your anti-mage or your arc warden or your whoever you need to come online comes online. So that's how that works. Experience changes. So the experience required to reach level 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 has increased from 780, 810, 840, 870, 900 to 890, 930, 970, 1010, and 1050. This is a big XP increase. What this means is that you need to gain significantly more experience to get levels 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. But it particularly slows down the timings for hitting level 10, and it slows down the timing for hitting level 12. And this means that your talent timing is slower, and your level 2 ultimate timing is slower. This will inevitably slow down will slow down heroes that can snowball through experience and levels. But I'm actually excited to see what this does for Beastmaster. I think this might actually be an indirect buff for Beastmaster, because Beastmaster has his power spikes around like level 8, because level 8 is when he has, if you follow my guide, you'll see the way that I build him is by going max aura and max boars, and then he'll have his dominator, he'll be building his necro books, he'll have roar, and he'll have creeps ready to push. So I think Beastmaster might get an indirect buff because everyone else is weaker the second he hits his power spike. So probably heroes that don't rely that much on their talents or levels around 9, 10, 11, and 12, they might actually do a little bit better because of this. We could see some of those type of heroes emerge in the meta. All right, next change. Reliable gold is now given only for passive income. So this, you used to get reliable gold for kills as well. Now that you don't get reliable gold for kills and you only get it for passive income, they've taken away all other sources of reliable gold. It means that buying out your items is incredibly important, and that trading, if you end up killing somebody and then you die immediately after without buying out, you have the potential of losing quite a bit of gold. So you have to actually be very quick to buy out your items. You have to have your quick buy ready. It makes the trades not as great for you because a lot of the times, even if you kill a hero, you won't be able to buy the item that you're looking to buy anyways. So this is this will have more of a gold loss penalty for you. Now the AoE gold increase. The AoE gold increased from 0.45 times 0.027 times net worth to from 45 plus 45 plus 0.027 times the net worth to 45 plus 0.033 times the net worth. This is a 0.006% change. This could have a big effect if you have a huge net worth, but if you don't have a very large net worth, this will only change stuff, I believe, in the very, very late game. So I don't know if this is going to make a big effect overall. Maybe not even worth talking about that much. And finally, the next change, or the last change in the general changes that we'll talk about, is the neutral item drop times from tier 1s, or from tier 1 neutral items to tier 4 neutral items have been changed from 7, 15, 25, 40 to 7, 17, 27, 37, meaning that level 1 neutral items are the same. Tier 2 neutral items are 2 minutes slower. Tier 3 neutral items are 2 minutes slower, but tier 4 neutral items are 3 minutes faster. So if you make it to 37 minutes into the game, that is the potential for huge power spikes right there, because tier 4 neutral items can turn things around. On to general item changes. Just a couple cleanup notes here. They basically made healing salve a little bit worse by increasing the duration from 8 to 10 seconds, giving the enemy more time to cancel it. Gloves of haste have gone up in gold cost from 400 to 450. Makes sense. These things were really cheap before. Blades of attack, I don't know why they went up by 20, but basically it nerfs armlet, Crystallis, and phase boots a little bit. I think they wanted to nerf phase boots in addition to power treads, but unfortunately they had an indirect effect of nerfing this armlet quite a bit, because gloves of haste and blades of attack both build out of it, and they didn't reduce the cost of the armlet. I would have expected to see a small cost reduction in the recipe for the armlet. So there you go, a little bit of a nerf to armlet buyers. Ring of Basilius cost increased by 25, and Hood of a Defiance now has a 200 gold recipe. So essentially nerfing the hood, but also going into the patch 7.26a changes, where they tried to nerf a bunch of low level regen items. The Pipe of Insight in 7.26c was nerfed because they increased the cost from 800 gold to 1000 gold for the recipe. Then they went ahead and in 7.25c was the increase from 800 to 1000. 7.26a is increased from 1000 to 1200, and now the Hood of Defiance has another 200 gold increase. That's 600 gold increase plus another 25 gold tacked on because we increased the cost of a Ring of Regen and Headdress. These were slightly cheaper before as well, so the Headdress is more expensive. We're nerfing that, and that's going in addition to these type of changes here from the Vlads, the mechanism, the pipe, all of these slight nerfs that we got in 7.26a. So this has been Ice Frog and Valve's next attempt at slowing down the game. So that didn't work the first time. They unintentionally sped up the game. Then they nerfed a bunch of mid-tier items. And now what they're doing is they're adding more nerfs throughout the game, with a big notable one being 20% nerf to all talents, obviously. Let me know what you guys think about the changes, how your games have been going, whether you've enjoyed playing or not. I've been having some rough games personally. I don't know if it's the quarantine bringing out the worst in people or what it is, but either way, I hope your games have been going a little bit better than mine. On behalf of myself and my team, the Sploush Troupe, I wish you guys best of luck in your games. This has been a patch analysis for 7.26b. Until next time, guys, one love.